Hello, Clint here, Crimson Landscape, here to talk about your landscape and backyard stuff. Again, it was a pleasure to meet you last week. Well, actually, it was this week. So here is the video as discussed. A couple things before we start is this design is the sole property of Crimson Landscape. It cannot be used without our permission. And that our winter rates will end on the 15th, which I believe is, let me check, that is Sunday. So it'll actually be, yeah, Sunday. So by the end of the day, Sunday, contract must be signed. Then we'll kick over to spring rates on the 16th. It's not execution, it's just contract. It's just we're getting busy and we're doing a ton of quotes. So we're just trying to wrap up our final February and early March installs. Yeah, the plants we picked are all cold weather tolerant plants, so these are all no drama plants. They'll do quite well in this environment. Even if we have another cold snap, they're fine. There'll be no drama with them. Okay, on the landscape, the most important piece is the bed preparation and dropping the plants in the ground, and really knowing what plants to install, of course, is probably the most important of everything. But our team does a great job of bed prep, making sure everything in the soil is aerated correctly, the proper sandy loam compost mix is mixed in. So that's the big portion of the project. We'll also include options for irrigation changes. That if we need to make any irrigation changes, do any repairs over there, we certainly can do that. We are licensed to do that. Then in the quote, we'll have lighting options if you want to add that. If you want to add a smart controller, that'll be in the quote. And what else? Oh, the gutter downspouts, as I mentioned last week, that we charge per gutter downspout. So it's just a number of gutter downspouts you want extended. We'll extend them up to 8 feet for a price, then every foot beyond that is a price. The general rule of thumb is you don't want water to dump within 3 to 5 feet of your foundation. You kind of want to dump at least past a landscape bed and or dump near the property line towards the drainage easement. All right. On the right-hand side, we have a Wichita Blue Juniper. I went with this plant because the front of your house kind of has that Colorado cottage look with that lighter stone. So I thought this plant looked good. In the back, I did dwarf Yopon hollies. I would go with the 7-gallon versions. Don't do the 3-gallon version. Low maintenance, easy to maintain. They'll stay below the windows. Salvia graga here. Oh, correction. The layman's name for it is autumn sage. So you get a nice red bloom. It'll also bring in hummingbirds, daylilies. Gold is my favorite. The golds don't get too tall and gangly. Left side, I matched it. So these shrubs from the right side in the back are on the left. These are the same shrubs, dwarf Yopon holly. Repeated the daylilies. Then, of course, these are Rose Creek abelias for a pop of white color in that little darker area. So I made this bed over here a little bit bigger on this side. So it's because the house sticks out on this side a little bit, as you can see. I wanted this side of the property to come out and kind of get closer to matching it, then squeeze in a little bit more narrower over here towards this landscape bed. We left this shrub right here, which is, I believe it is an oak leaf holly. I believe that's what you have there. I did a dwarf Burford holly here. Great plant, hard to kill, does really well. I did a 7-gallon version is what I would do. I didn't do anything in front because, again, I'm trying to stay within your budget. On the corner here is variegated liripe. We can go with a new Japanese maple. This is bloodgood or coral bark, whichever one you prefer. The coral bark does cost more. Then on the side of the house, I did simple nandinas to mitigate erosion. I would do a raw steel edge, RAW. It just means unfinished, versus the ugly painted stuff. If you want to, I can drop boulders in there. Yeah, a boulder. Show you what that looks like. If you're going for more of a Texas-ish look, like not a boulder this big, of course, but like in the landscape bed, we can mix a couple boulders, and we just use a steel edge. The steel edge will bump up against the border. It doesn't look that big, but you get the gist of it. All right, last thing we'll do is let me switch over to night for lights. We sell LED color changing RGBW, which is just a fancy term acronym for color changing. We give you remote control. You walk to the light, you hit a button, and it changes colors: red, white, and blue. You want them to strobe, you want them to flash. It's really cool. So I really like our lights. Depending on the light dictates the warranty. We do have a 1-year bumper to bumper on the lights from us. We'll come out pretty much no questions asked and fix your lights. We'll bring out a new fixture, whatever. After the 1 year, typically you just bring us the fixture and we'll give you a new fixture over the counter. Or you can just pay one of our technicians to come out and swap it for you. Okay, and last thing is along this front walk path here, I took out that little bed there along the front walk path just because you got 3 kiddos. Maintenance is a big deal, so it just kept it simple along the sidewalk. So I would just take that border out, adjust the grade just slightly, and put grass back in there and call it a day. Just to mitigate and make life a little bit easier from a maintenance perspective. All right, going to the backyard. Here's what I come up with. Just that gravel, simple gravel we talked about. I moved it a little bit closer so you walk down the walk path. You take a left, hit the flagstone, and move down towards the backyard. You don't have to have the flagstone even if you don't want that. I don't think you have enough flagstone on site, so we have to bring in some more flagstone. Probably a little bit bigger pieces as well. Then we just use that same steel edge that we talked about and what we're going to use in the front for this little area right here. Just like that. Okay, over here, grass. We could do all mulch. Like, we wouldn't do grass underneath the trampoline. We would do mulch if you wanted to. I can just bring a little extra mulch from the front yard and throw it underneath the trampoline. Just to mitigate weeds from growing underneath there. Then just grass over here. If you want, I can bring in a little bit of sand and actually level the space a little bit as well, so it's a little more level for the trampoline. Up to you. Then along the fence, I lowered the fence just so you could see it. A real popular option is this gravel. We saw the gravel along all the way down the side property. As I mentioned, the general rule of thumb is anything along a south-facing fence, nothing's going to grow within 4 feet of that fence. That's why along a south-facing fence, we either put gravel or we put a landscape bed. So this is your south-facing fence. So that's what you need. So gravel or a plant bed here. Grass is growing back here, just the way the sun comes in from the east. Awesome. All right. So that's pretty much it. I'll send this over to you if you like this design, or if you have any small changes you want me to make. Just drop in an email and I can send you a quote. Or if you want to jump on a Zoom call to discuss all the options, certainly can do that as well. I appreciate the opportunity, and if you're a first-time guest seeing one of our videos, you can check us out at crimsonlandscape.com.